Welcome back to another Q&A series where SC, aka Stud City, responds to your questions that you leave on the comments below. So if you want me to answer a question, make sure to leave a /SSC and I'll be sure to answer it in next week's video. But in today's video, I have quite a few answers for you guys because there's some really good questions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into today's video. First off, I would like to say thank you guys so much. This series has been an absolute blast. I really do appreciate you guys always asking questions, and it makes this series so fun. So by all means, ask any questions you guys want. I'll be sure to answer them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into the first question. And this is coming from St. James Modern Art. Really cool name, by the way. He says, ask SC, why has there not been any videos from anyone on when LEGO raised their prices? The new prices also applied to old stock that LEGO and retailers already had on hand. Supposedly costs increased for new production, but old stock should not have been affected as they were already costed out. By the way, this applies to all goods, especially groceries. People buy not just LEGO. James. Now, James, you bring up a interesting point. Was LEGO and other retailers supposed to increase the prices of existing sets? I think the answer to that was yes. I believe LEGO put like a threshold for retailers to raise their price too. I kind of covered a lot of this in a video when this kind of happened. I believe this was around August, so LEGO doesn't want you to know this. This video was one of my, honestly, top performing videos, but it just kind of covered some of the cost affections that were going to take into place, and it just kind of was going under the radar. So this is why I made this video, is exactly because of your question right here. And that was some time ago, and I do believe I should probably readdress it, and I designed a video around that question. But in all truthfulness, it's a topic that should be discussed because, like you and myself, we buy LEGO. This is a bunch of LEGO sets I still need to unbox. I buy LEGO all the time, and with escalated price, it's reduced my purchasing power. I can't buy as much LEGO for the same amount of price. I think these Speed Champions are a great one to look at. And within 3-year period, we went from a $15 vehicle to a now $25 vehicle. That's pretty substantial. And I know there's going to be arguments. Well, there was less pieces. That was a 6-stud wide. Now they moved to 8-stud wide. In all truthfulness, it doesn't matter. Look at the Star Wars battle packs. Those used to be around $10, and now they're $20 to $30. So it's the prices have just gone up, and we'll continue to see that. Now, that goes kind of a little bit unjustified for some of the sets like the modulars. Like the bookshop retailed for $180, and now it's at a $200 price point. It's a little absurd to have to pay extra on a set that you were able to get at a cheaper rate. Look at the Mos Eisley Cantina. That's retailed for $300 and is now at $350. No, it's $350 and now at $400. Whatever it was, that little price increase. It's absurd, right? You were able to get it for cheaper and the price went up. The UCS Falcon is the same way with the UCS AT-AT. They were $800. Now they're $850. It's just hard to justify buying those sets just because you're like, oh, I could have got them cheaper a while back ago. And James, you do bring up economics into this, and one of the big driving forces of economics is inflation, right? We lose purchasing power over time, right? So if you had $800 back in 2022 or 2021, that was worth a significant amount more than it is now in present day 2023. So it does make sense in that aspect why prices going up, simply due because of inflation. I just find it hard to buy LEGO sets that were at a discounted, at a smaller retail value before, and now they got increased in retail value. It's hard to come by for me to buy some of those sets. That's why I kind of paused on some of those older sets and just kind of look for newer LEGO sets that have good deals that come across that we do look out for from time to time again. Our next question comes from Jose Diaz, and he says, I'm looking to buy my first UCS set, and I find myself indecisive. Gunship, AT-AT, Razor Crest, or Falcon. What do you think I should get? Rate them 1 to 4. Okay, Jose, this is going to be an absolute blast. So there's a couple arguments here. One, you can look at retirements. The only one on this list that is retiring soon is the UCS Gunship. So if you want to base it upon that, the Gunship is probably a likely choice. But as far as just LEGO sets in general that you would probably most likely enjoy the most, I would kind of go the opposite route. I'd probably get the UCS Falcon first just because its magnitude of massiveness and greatness. It's the holy grail of the LEGO community. Non-stop people talk about that being the best set the literal best set ever made. So for me, the UCS Falcon has to be at the number 1 seed. I have not built it, therefore it's hard to justify this answer. But just based on friends within the community and seeing posts about it, by far, that's probably the number 1 choice is the UCS Millennium Falcon. And then the second one, this was a little difficult to decide between, but for me, it was deciding between the AT-AT and the Razor Crest. I know the Razor Crest is no longer a ship, right, in The Mandalorian, but it is such an iconic ship. The AT-AT is so massive, so these two can swing. I think the 2 and 3 can swing a little bit. For me, I would probably go the AT-AT a little bit first. It's so massive, it's epic, it's cool, I love it. It's really awesome. And then the Razor Crest is the Razor Crest, right? So that one's detailed as well. So again, those two are interchangeable, and the last being the gunship for me. For some reason, that one it doesn't do it for me. The escalated price on it and it never going on sale, it is retiring, but it's just, for me, it looks great, but it's just a UCS set that I'm pretty much not too interested in. And there's a couple of reasons why. The minifigs in that selection weren't too great. They weren't exclusive in any way or form. I thought we should have gotten an exclusive minifig. And then I do have one of the old gunships, so I think that's better than the UCS one. So that's kind of why I've decided that one being my 4th. It is hard. They're all great sets, right? Like, if you gave me a gunship to build, I'd enjoy the heck out of it and probably love it, right? But in that order, I'm definitely getting the Falcon, and then the AT-AT, the Razor Crest, and then the gunship if I was limited, and especially buying my first one. Our next question is going to be from Shalio, and he says, ask SC, how do you display and or store your minifigs that are not in City and or Mox? Great question, Shalio, if I'm pronouncing that correct. So I currently do not have any other LEGO minifigs on display, but that is going to change very soon. A little fast forward into the future, I am working on a website and trying to outsource display cases for single minifigs. So if you're interested in that, bear with me. It's just going to be a little bit longer. I have some really fun things planned ahead of us. I'm really excited for it, and we're going to give it a go. It's going to be my first experience in that way, but I plan on finding a solution for single minifig storages for my collections that I think would be really fun. So I hope you're interested in that, and there'll be more on that in the future. So as of right now, absolutely no Lego minifigs being stored. I just haven't done it, and that's kind of my solution going forward. So let's get excited for that. That should be fun. And our last question is coming from Tree Spire, and he says, ask SC, do you think LEGO make a UCS Venator, and if so, at what scale? I definitely think a UCS Venator is possible in the future. I don't know. LEGO's been listening to their fans, and I feel like the Venator has been highly sought after over last year. It's just been a lot of talk. I know Republic Bricks, he's got one on his website that looks pretty sweet. It's a UCS Venator Class Republic. Okay, it's pretty cool. It is. It's a little expensive. I don't know anyone that has it, but it looks pretty epic. It's shout out to him for building it. I think the last Venator was this set right here, set number 8039. It was the Republic Attack Cruiser. Comes with some pretty sweet minifigs. Again, that wasn't UCS, so it was just, how many pieces was that? Really small. 1,170 pieces. So not a small set, but decently sized. But currently it's like over $1,000 on Amazon if you were to buy it new. But really cool ship. It would not surprise me if LEGO made that. Now the size scale, well, if they did UCS, right, the UCS one's going to be pretty massive. So you can expect a 4,000 to 8,000 piece set or something just abnormal. However, I feel like they might make a micro scale one first, like the Executor Super Star Destroyer. That's going to be new to May. I think that's a May 1st release. So it's possible we see a micro scale first. That kind of way LEGO tests the waters. And then, they might make a UCS one. So who knows? It's exciting to think about. So again, I can't speak on that too much. I don't have any insight on if that was going to happen. It would be awesome if it did happen, but who knows, right? But my question for you would be, if they made a UCS Venator, how large would you like it to be? And if they made a micro scale, how small would you want it to be? That's kind of a good question for you guys to answer in the comments below, because I think that's an interesting topic. A really good question. And if they do make the Venator, I would hope that they make a large Ultimate Collector Series 1, right? Just massive, kind of like the Star Destroyer. So it would kind of fit that theme, right? So that would be my expectations, and hopefully we do see that be made. I know it would satisfy a lot of Star Wars fans, including myself. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. That was a fun Q&A series. There was a lot of great questions, and hopefully a lot more in the future. That wraps up today's episode. So if you want to see another episode next Friday, make sure to ask your questions in the comments below /AskSC, and I will respond to them on Friday at 11 a.m. Central, aka noon Eastern Standard Time. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next week on Friday, and thanks so much. Peace out, guys.